2.467 billion euros. That is how much UEFA distributes to clubs in a single Champions League season. Tonight, Paris Saint-Germain hosts Bayern Munich. Tomorrow night, Atletico Madrid hosts Arsenal. 4 clubs left, 1 trophy, and a financial system most people have never heard of, quietly running underneath all of it. By the time a winner lifts the trophy in Budapest on May 30th, that club will have collected somewhere between 130 and 150 million euros from one tournament in one season. So how does UEFA actually build that number? And why do the clubs only get part of it? That is what we are breaking down today. Follow the cap sheet for weekly sports business breakdowns. Start with the foundation. Every club that reaches the Champions League phase collects a guaranteed participation fee of 18.62 million euros. Before a ball is kicked, that is the floor. Nobody leaves the Champions League empty-handed. On top of that, clubs earn performance bonuses during the league phase. 2.1 million euros for every win, 700,000 euros for every draw. Over 8 matches, that compounds fast. Then there is the league phase ranking bonus. The club that finishes first earns an additional 9.9 million euros. Every position lower earns slightly less, all the way down to the club ranked 36th, who collects just 75,000 euros. Arsenal finished first. 8 wins from 8 matches. No draws, no losses. The only club in this season's Champions League to run a perfect league phase. That record earned them approximately 60 million euros before the knockout stage even started. Then the knockout money begins. Reaching the round of 16 adds 11 million euros. Quarterfinals, another 12.5 million. Semifinals, 15 million more. Just for being in the match, tonight or tomorrow, PSG, Bayern, Arsenal, and Atletico each collected 15 million euros they would not have earned by losing in the quarterfinals. Making the final in Budapest is worth an additional 18.5 million euros, win or lose. And if you win, you collect an extra 6.5 million on top of that. That is the prize money structure. But it is not where the biggest money is. Follow the cap sheet for weekly sports business breakdowns. 853 million euros. That is the size of UEFA's value pillar, and most football fans have never heard of it. The value pillar is a separate payment distributed to clubs based on 3 things: the size of their domestic television market, their 5-year UEFA coefficient, and their 10-year UEFA coefficient. It has nothing to do with how they performed this season. It is a structural payment that rewards clubs simply for being historically relevant and commercially valuable. What this means in practice is extraordinary. Manchester City were eliminated in the league phase. They finished outside the top 24. By competitive result, they failed. But because of their market size and coefficient, they still collected an estimated 45.4 million euros from the value pillar alone. Paris Saint-Germain collected 44.1 million. Bayern Munich, 43 million. Arsenal, 37 million. This is UEFA's mechanism for keeping the continent's biggest clubs financially invested in the competition. And it works. Because even in a bad season, the value pillar guarantees an income floor that smaller leagues simply cannot match. The practical consequence is a structural gap that widens every year. Clubs from Europe's top 5 leagues earn more from UEFA simply by existing than clubs from smaller leagues earn by winning. Karabag and Bodo Glimt made the Champions League this season. Both collected more than their entire annual operating revenue from UEFA prize money. For those clubs, One season of participation changes their financial trajectory completely. For Bayern Munich, or PSG, it is one component of a much larger commercial machine. That gap is not accidental. It is designed. So what is actually at stake tonight and tomorrow? Paris Saint-Germain are the defending champions. They won the 2024-2025 Champions League, their first ever title. And tonight, they host Bayern Munich in a semifinal, with more than sporting pride on the line. PSG have been restructuring their financial model since the departure of several high-earning players over recent seasons. The Champions League provides a revenue stream that partially compensates for lost commercial income when global stars leave. Defending the title is not just about prestige. It is about sustaining the financial infrastructure that allows the club to compete at the top of European football. Bayern Munich are running a different calculation. The Bundesliga giants consistently extract strong value pillar payments given Germany's market size and their UEFA coefficient. But their domestic league income faces structural pressure relative to Premier League clubs, who benefit from the most valuable broadcast rights package in club football. Champions League prize money is not supplementary income for Bayern. It is a competitive necessity. On the other side of the bracket, Arsenal have already earned approximately 60 million euros from this campaign before tonight's match. If they make the final in Budapest, they add 18.5 million more. If they win it, another 6.5 million on top of that. A Champions League title for Arsenal would be worth somewhere north of 130 million euros in total from this one season. Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone have consistently punched above their financial weight in European football. They have never won the Champions League despite 2 final appearances. The commercial value of winning, sponsorship premiums, global profile, value pillar growth in future seasons, represents a financial step change that no other result can deliver. These 4 clubs are not just competing for a trophy in Budapest. They are competing for the financial leverage that comes with winning it. Follow the cap sheet for weekly sports business breakdowns. UEFA's total commercial revenue for the 2025-2026 season is approximately 4.4 billion euros. The 2.467 billion distributed to clubs represents just under 60% of that total. UEFA retains the rest for operations, solidarity payments to clubs not in the competition, and reserves. That split is not a mistake. It is the business model. UEFA absorbs the commercial risk, sells the broadcast rights across more than 200 territories, builds the infrastructure, and shares just enough of the upside to keep the clubs engaged and the competition running. The Budapest final on May 30th will reach an audience that most sports events cannot touch across an entire season. This is why the value pillar exists. This is why the participation fee starts at 18.62 million. This is why even clubs eliminated in the league phase walk away with more than 20 million euros. The Champions League is not just European football's biggest prize. It is the most sophisticated revenue distribution model in professional sports. 2.467 billion euros distributed across 36 clubs through a system built to reward history as much as performance, and structured deliberately so that UEFA keeps enough to do it all again next year. Next week, we are looking at the Indian Premier League. The IPL generates more revenue per game than the Premier League, in a country where cricket is not just a sport, but a financial ecosystem. That breakdown is next Tuesday. Follow the cap sheet for weekly sports business breakdowns.